and we all have been waiting for this moment. And we're here to just give where we are, what our findings are, and share it on the basis of truth and good evidence only. My team, we've been fighting back and forth to keep me on script, so I will endeavor to agree with the team and remain scripted throughout this presentation. But it won't be our regular briefing, because this will be a little more detailed than we would normally do in ordinary investigation, because this is a high-profile case. It has a lot of sensitivity attached to it. It has a lot of political nature surrounding it. There's a lot of dis and misinformation that has already prejudiced it to an extent out there. So it's only in the best interest of the investigation public that we share a little more information than we would normally do in these kind of cases. So we've been able to look at it and see as much as we are able to share, just to show the level of transparency and everything that has been put into this investigation. So we'll start this by first and foremost acknowledging each and every one of you that are here, and say thank you for coming. Well, I am. Fellow Liberians, I must unequivocally assert that the current political climate of Liberia, no individual, regardless of their status, influence, or affiliation, is above the law. The arson attack on the Capitol Hill was not merely an act of vandalism. It was an affront to our democratic principles, an assault on the institution that sustain our republic, and a deliberate attempt to destabilize our hard-earned peace. The perpetrators of these heinous crimes have been charged and will be subsequently forwarded to court. This serves as a stern warning, not only to them, but to anyone who seeks to undermine public order, challenge our collective progress, and try to exploit impunity. The Republic of Liberia will hold you accountable, and justice will be served. As we proudly announce Liberia's induction as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council on June 4th, 2025, we do recognize the global responsibility that comes with this honor. To hold this obligation sacred, Liberia must now exercise maturity befitting its role on the world stage, maintaining peace and stability within our borders, and upholding the rule of law is no longer just a domestic concern. It is a paramount international obligation, and we do not take it lightly. The Liberia National Police is guided by law, driven by empirical evidence, and firmly rooted in constitutional mandate to safeguard lives, right, and dignity of every Liberian. We're not instruments of political expediency, we're guardians of national stability. Our mandate is clear, and we strive to uphold it, impartially and in alignment with the security sector and stability pillars of the arrest agenda and the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. In collaboration with our national and international partners, we're enhancing public safety through many targeted initiatives. These include robust traffic enforcement, expanded community patrols, and proactive community awareness campaigns designed to prevent, detect, and investigate crimes. Our mission is to assure that all within our borders, citizens and residents alike, are kept safe. And to succeed, we need the continued cooperation of each and every one. Let me be clear. No one who violates the law of the Republic of Liberia will walk with impunity. The era of tolerance for lawlessness is over. Liberia will not flourish in the shadows of disorder and indiscipline. Accountability must prevail at every level of our society. This moment marks the beginning of a new chapter in which the Liberia National Police remains resolute in its duty. We will not be deterred by threats, will not be silenced by intimidation, will stand firm, defend the peace, and resolutely resist any foreign or domestic force seeking to derail the progress. Let us arise to the challenge. Let us build a Liberia that is safer, that is stronger, and more just for ourselves, and not just for ourselves, but for the future. On behalf of the Joint Security, I extend sincere thanks and appreciation to the general public for the cooperation that we have received with this high-profile arson investigation. We deeply value our cordial relationship, and we do not take the trust lightly. The Joint Security and the communities we serve, we look forward to strengthening this partnership for the good of each and every one in this country. Today, as we climax this high-profile arson investigation, which involves the willful destruction of public property and the endangerment of our nation's security by individuals who abuse their access and positions, we're pleased to provide the public with a transparent, evidence-based account of what actually transpired. And that is why, like I said earlier, this is not a regular case. So we will endeavor to go a little further and tell you as much as we can. So we've gone back to the history of the case to give you timeline, background of some of these events that led to this particular issue. In October 2024, tension ensued amongst members of the House of Representatives over efforts to remove a former House Speaker, Honorable Jonathan Fanati Kofa, and these disputes intensified over time, requiring law enforcement intervention. November 8, 2024, Thomas Isaac Etheridge, staff of former Speaker, and Patrick Moore seized the keys of the Deputy Chief Clerk office, indicating signs of sabotage. November 10, 2024, the joint chambers were vandalized, chairs were destroyed, electronics destroyed, wires damaged, and making it completely incapacitated. November 11, the Liberia National Police began an investigation. The Capitol Building Security Director, Mr. Bala Coleman, and others were invited to police for questioning. These were some of the things these are some of the initial things that we did to start this investigation. I'm just laying it out so that you can understand, the steps that we've taken our intervention into this issue. And I know there were a lot of back and forth as to what police was doing there, what was police role and stuff. Strictly law enforcement. We had no fish to fry into whatever else was there. When the law is being violated, we step in and we make sure we enforce it. On December 10, 2024, the police investigation did establish that suspect Kivi Ba, alias Kaba, and John Yanati attempted to ignite fire on a circuit breaker panel on the second floor using gasoline. This was an act. This act was a precursor to the larger plan to destroy the entire Capitol building. We started to follow the escalation. Most of you who are journalists who have been assigned in those areas, you saw on a daily basis, week by week, there was a steady escalation in the violence at the Capitol. Every week, it was another thing. It was another thing. So all we had to do as law enforcers, just to make sure we go there, play our part, keep everybody safe, and get the day by. We go up to December 17th, and December 17th was the day of the protest. On the protest, there were acts of violence. People refused to take law enforcement order. They refused to disperse. On that day, one of our officers, Sergeant Amara Ability, was mercilessly beaten and left for dead because they left him knowing that they had killed him. We were able to gather sufficient evidence indicating that they had believed that he was dead before they left him. So if he hadn't reached to a place where he seemed to have been incapacitated and could not even breathe, they would have continued the assault on him. Not only that did they do that, but they also took away his service weapon. And on that same day, in the same area, there was a meeting that took place in Jalatan where the conspirators finalized the arson plan, and funds were distributed allegedly linked to Representative Dixon W. Siegel of District 16, Monserrado County. Phone conversations, subpoenas revealed that suspects were planning to use gasolines to set ablaze vehicles belonging to legislators. So all of these things, over time, they were collected. I mean, we made sure that we analyzed them properly before coming to this day. And I know a lot of people being impatient, a lot of people been wanting to see this thing just happen. Sometimes in investigation, law enforcement can get lucky. This is one of those cases. The lines just fell in pleasant places and the evidence connected itself electronically, scientifically, and were able to gather and build a strong case. I am super proud of the joint security effort leading to where we are with this investigation. I've been here for a couple of years. I've seen investigation back and forth. I've seen cases sent to court. I've seen how we struggle sometimes to get cases through. This is one time that I am 100% super proud of the capabilities of the joint security. They say there's unity, there's the strength in unity. The unity of the joint security has led us to these successes that we now have. And as we go on, we'll continue to give you play by play on all of these different issues. So I would like to move on to the day of the arson itself and give you a chronology of all of the happenings. On December 18, which was the day of the attack, by 5:40 a.m., Mr. James Morba, the custodian of the key, opens the building. By 6 to 6:30, the suspects smuggle gasoline into the building, go up on the third and fourth floor, pour gasoline, and set the place ablaze. When that happened, that blaze caused the destruction of the joint chambers, the dome, and the entire facility in that particular section of the Capitol building was totally destroyed. We went in, looked at it, and made sure that we secured it properly. So this issue is one that is very sentimental to anybody who should love this country. Anybody who should believe in this country should be concerned about this particular issue. I liken this occurrence to 1980, major assault on our democracy. 1990, 2003. Nobody had answered for anything in this country. Hundreds of thousands of people have lost their lives for similar issues, even though nobody died here. But this symbol is the one thing that gave each and every one of us the legitimacy to be called honorable, to have the authority to even stand here to investigate this issue. So when you assault it, you don't just assault your office, you assault every last one of us. And that's why we put every effort, all of our resources, into making sure that we answer to the people. This is the least we can do for the Liberian people, to give them some feedback as to what happened to that particular place, where even the foundation of human rights that will be calling for everything poured under the democracy. So the seat of it is very, very important. And that's why we say there's a high-profile investigation. By 6:35, the police show up on the scene. We make arrest over 65 individuals from response, bring them in for questioning. Suspects detained, we start the questioning. We move on to the suspect's confession and the motive. During the questioning, multiple suspects made confessional statements linking themselves to the planning and execution of this arson attack. Notably, Mr. Thomas Etheridge, he admitted to coordinating logistics for the fire, assigning individuals to specific areas of the Capitol building to ensure that maximum damage was done. This was not no ordinary stuff that just happened. They burned it. Eric Susick was intercepted phone call, review his intent to acquire gasoline and coordinate attacks on lawmakers' vehicles. And this particular one confirmed premeditated plans. These actions were not spontaneous, they were acts of vandalism, but they were all part of the larger plan to disrupt legislative function, to destroy critical government infrastructure, and to destabilize our peace. The motive is established. The statement and digital evidence was rooted in politics, a frustration, but it's an intent to sabotage legislative operation during this critical moment. We are when you look at it, going back to the chronology of things, it started at the breakaway of some lawmakers. They're going their own way, and they've been denied access of a space to sit, to conduct business in the Capitol. So if you follow the trend, even though it started on that basis, if you are continuing it using your internal wranglings, it's a whole different thing. Law enforcement would never get involved. But when it reaches to the point where crime is committed, where vandalism happens, people get assaulted, people get pepper sprayed, you got people vandalizing stuff, breaking doors, attempting to burn the building, finally burning it, law enforcement must come in. That's what God police knows in the matter today. We go looking for anybody. This is nothing personal. This is nothing political. This is a separate act. The political issue you decide. The law enforcement issue, I'll deal with it. My team here are going to make sure that the Liberian people answer. The joint security, we have come together, we have brought our strength, our resources, we've put everything into investigating this matter to answer that our side, the politics, we got nothing to do with it. Contrary to what people think, what people believe, we are not a political institution, nothing. As a result of this attack, the Liberian government suffered losses amounting to $8,672,653.60 due to the damage on that particular structure, with everything that happened in between there. Taxpayers' money. Taxpayers' money. In your anger, you don't do that. You don't do that. We're responsible to answer to the people. We're responsible. And that answer is given today. The action is clear. So we move on to the integrity of the investigation to see some of the steps, the things that police did from the time we got involved. From the onset of the attack, the Liberian National Police acted swiftly. We made sure we secured the crime scene. We then initiated a coordinated response. The fire service was mobilized, they came in, they controlled the fire. The forensic team went in, they began assessment of the damage. We started to collect pieces of evidence. The investigation was conducted through securing and reviewing CCTV footage, communication records. We gather witness testimonies from the Capitol's building staff, from police officers, from community members. We coordinated effort with internal and external security institutions. There was a proper chain of custody, documenting all physical and digital evidence that was collected. We made sure that we followed everything to the letter, dotting our I's and crossing our T's. We ensured transparency and procedural integrity throughout the investigation. Contrary to what people have, the disinformation has led, about issue of torture and abuse of people's rights.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Sorry for the wait. Thank you. This is the nightly exchange. Thank you for coming. We're here again tonight to talk about Liberia, and thank you for showing up and you know discussing the issue with us. And in our comment session, let me see to welcome. Oh, my boy Wilson, Tommy Jr. Welcome. Thank you for coming in. For you who are not commenting that I can see, who I can see, welcome. And thank you for joining us. And we wish that you will share the show, share it. This is the nightly exchange. And we're on, you can catch it on Liberia Watch News on YouTube and Facebook. That's where you can share the show from there and subscribe. When you go on there on YouTube and stuff, subscribe and you know, and come back. Let's talk Liberia, guys. So it's a lot that happened in the country today, and we're just here to give our thoughts. Right? Everybody have already made so much big deal and fun. Some of it funny, some of it not funny, some of it people lives involved. So we had a little bit of busy country today, um, and busy diaspora as well. And all of the chat room was popping and hot today from what was going on. So we're here to talk about it. We're the last one to talk about everything that happened because we're a late night. So yeah, we can't say we're not coming on to talk about it because everybody has to already talk about it. We have to give our own our own a little opinion and analysis on the issues and stuff, and you get put in your calls and everything to also tell us what you think. That we all, because Liberia is all of our country, we all have say in Liberia. Even though we see it one way, other people would be more about political party, and other people would be more about the country. But all in all, we have to talk Liberia. So that's what we're here to do tonight. And I see my boy Famula in the back. Famula is going to be co-hosting with me tonight, and he's getting prepared to come on. But before then, Joseph T. Clark, watching for Single Effie Road. Thank you for joining, Joseph. Thank you. You're up to watch the show. Thank you. There's a lot of sacrifice being made. Just share the show, share it with your friends, your family, and tell them to come watch us too. And call in and do whatever. To chip into to the with who's that? Oh, in a discussion. Thank you guys. Yeah, like I said today, we had we had a lot of things going on in the country. First, we had the former speaker of the House, who were arrested on Friday with four others representatives. They were released today on the bond bill, and yeah, that's former Speaker Kofa and three others who were accused of criminal apparently they were released on the bond today. Um, that bond the worth of $440,000 US dollars bond today. They were released on a 440,000 US dollar bond today. And we had a former president, George Weah, went to the party headquarters. He had a little um, press conference or a little interview there with a journalist. And we had Speaker Kofa had a lot to say about the arrest as well. And we had the the IG also talks about, their lives, people threatening them and everything. It's so much going on today. And then we had the former president donated some food stuff and money to the Dole family, and it was rejected by the daughter of the former first lady twice. It was rejected, and I think some family members or friends brought it back, and she rejected it again. So it was a lot of cold war going on today, and we're gonna go into that. We're gonna talk about it as well. Like I said, the country was very busy today. Our chat rooms were busy. The diaspora was busy. Everywhere was busy today. So we're here on the nightly show, nightly exchange. Let's talk about let put out a little 2 cent in there and see what's going on. Family, thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank
And
you very much. I mean, thank you for the opportunity. And today I think we are streaming on the Labro Watch News.
yeah,
Is it different from the one we've been streaming on?
I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of little confused me today, but anyways, be
Yeah,
as it may.
technical. We really need to straighten this out sometime. Like
Let me take this time to welcome few of our friends who just joined us. It's always important because you guys are the one who give us the energy to keep going. Wilson Johnson, welcoming Bella Soiree. You're watching and following us
yeah, that
from
don't need to be in
YouTube.
the comment section. You need to be up here.
And I see Joseph T. Clark, you from Cinco area. And Tommy Jr., as always, ardent follower
Yeah,
and key participator of the show. I've in fact you the chairman for the comment section. You control the whole
Tommy,
comment section.
Tommy Jr.
So
Where is Lane Lapo?
Lane Lacroix going to
Can
come.
somebody please find Lane Lapo?
He going to come. So please make sure the least you could do for us right now is to share the show. Even if people are now on right now, you can share. They can still watch the show later on. It also help the program. So thank you very much. And today, as I've always said, our country Liberia is impregnated with so many things. So every day, because of the volatile nature of things in our country, we always going to have issues. We're all going to have topics to look at and speak to them. So trending among many topics is the quote unquote now today there's a movie title in our country that they call The Rejected Cow. So we've just sent a communication to um, Frank Atus, a movie icon, so
Oh
he can come
yeah,
up with a story because that's
that's
his era. I
that's a
mean, that's
story
why
right
I
there.
told him before. I said, Frank, politics is not good for you.
No,
Music is not good for you. Don't waste your time. But when you see things happening in the country and you be very creative to look through them and get some of your screenplay from that, it helps. So yeah, so they made the rejected cow story today is trending in the news. And also we have our political leader, the opposition political leader, showing solidarity today. And but it was interesting today because I got some things to say. I got my own observation. I saw how
okay. So
how
let's
things how things were going on around it. While other people were looking for other things, myself too, I was watching and looking for other things. I was watching body language. I was watching people trying to eat their own show some kind of
somebody
way.
watching, everybody watching everybody.
Yeah. So and the good part of it, Amy, is that it depends which lenses you're watching the story from. Some people can say, "Oh, it was not like this, oh, it was like this." Oh. At the end of the day, everybody have their own way that they see it, and everybody have their own way that they will explain it. Because the way I will explain it will not be how the other person will explain it. And in the end, I get one single thing. In the end, everybody will take that side. So I think that's the two major things so far that is trending in the country. I don't know what you have any other thing else that we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the interview with George. We are the
Oh,
person.
absolutely.
We are the
Absolutely,
They
but that's
are
the
careful
in
your
fact
words.
that's why I put everything in one. I
Yeah.
say other than in one because at the same thing I brought that
What's-
interview. I know who.
Yeah, so far that I think that's the biggest thing, and that's the only thing so far in the country today. The release of the representatives and the rejected cow. So yeah, that's what we at today. So I
Do
don't
we
know.
do we have let's see where we have some videos here of happenings at the resident
Because
of the
we
late. I don't think do we have
no
clip here?
we gonna go through the we're starting with a release of the representative. That
Uh,
we just
do you have clips on that? Oh, you want to do the
yeah,
representative clip first, and then we move to the.
right.
Okay, no worries. We can take anyone.
Okay, so where Speaker Kofar was after he came out, he was giving a talking to the press, and you know he was talking to the press about what had happened, and he was also talking about the IG press conference after they got arrested, and saying that the IG said, when the IG said this case, we're trying to be very careful with this case. It has a lot of, it's a very high profile case, and
It's
it got a
political,
lot of political, something around it, and all the one. And speaking on, how people turning the political, right?
but it is
And then the
political,
speaker,
Amy. Are
then
we
it's,
wait a minute before you come in, Amy? Let me just put this out right away. It depends on how people want to perceive it to look.
Of what
Let,
we've done. It's a place for human beings. Unfortunately, that's the best the state can offer for Liberian citizens. Did you hear the press conference of Gregory Coleman, the IG? He did say that this is a highly political case, did he not? So you don't take the partisans' word for it, you take the IG's word for it. He decided to bring this case based on a basket of evidence of innuendos, lies, and misstatement. And in the next few weeks, as we go through the preliminary hearing, we will deconstruct those lies and be able to put together a defense that is worthy of what we've done. It's a place for human beings. Unfortunately, that's the best the state can offer for Liberian citizens. It's unfortunate, but they are no better than me.
so with that formula, what is this speaker talking about? The IG calling the kids political. Do you think he's misquoting the IG, or that's what the IG said, like,
look,
or whatever he meaning?
the IG was exact. The IG carefully chose his words when he said we've been trying as much as possible not to do with the way other people thought it would have been, and but this case is political. The IG said it, and anybody can say it in any way, and I would agree on the term that this case is political because it involves political outcome. This case does not, I don't know, this case is not involving any bishop of a church. Those people that are involved in the case, they are state actors. Is Funati not a seasoned lawyer and a politician? Go look at his profile. Is Abu Banan Kamara not a politician? He's a politician. And all those involved, are they not politicians? They are politicians. So this is a political case, but it is going to be tried legally.
But from that, what he's trying to make the public to believe here is that the IG does not have any proof, any evidence the IG lied because he's from another party. So the IG is playing politics. Now the way you're seeing this, saying that you calling it political because the people that have been brought that have arrested are politicians. No, that's not what he's saying. He's calling it political.
But
like,
I mean, listen,
okay, we didn't do anything. They just
listen to the English he spoke. He spoke He spoke English over there, and what he said they brought up baskets of evidence. You know, when they say basket of evidence, that means they have a lot of things in the basket. But he referred to them. He want to clearly refer to them as innuendos. But he said they are going to deconstruct those evidences and those lies. In fact, he did not call them evidence. At the other end, he said we'll deconstruct those lies in a couple of weeks from the opening. But so you know, he has a legal background, so he knows how to use the terminology. But you will say to your supporters that like the law said, no one is guilty of a crime until proven before a competent court. And you know, so Funati can say anything you want to say, but he already established to the public. That's why I want to know that the police has in their possession evidence. If there was no evidence, then there will be no case. If he has said they don't have no evidence, but he said they have baskets of evidence, and then he came later on and he said, "Oh, we're going to deconstruct those lies." He referred to those evidence as innuendos. So Funati, the brethren approved lies on the accuser. The government said we have our evidence. He listened to the IG. He said we have already compiled. We have compiled everything. We have cross-examined everything. And don't make that the mistake I don't want us to make. The Gregory Como and some of the team of officers. Gregory Como was not directly involved in the investigation. He recused himself. Listen to that audio again. He said there was a team set up that did the investigation, and then after they concluded that investigation and all of that cross findings, they came now to his office. Then he sat with them again, and they went over it together. They do their final brainstorming, and they were resolved that they have sufficient evidence that can be used to prosecute whosoever that is involved in this arson attack on the state capital. So this, and more especially, I wanted to bring people to know that some of our police officers that are involved in the cases, they have legal understanding. They are lawyers also.
So you think the police, the speaker trying to muddy the water, or trying to mislead the Liberian people, like their constituencies are going around telling people, "Oh, this is a lie. They don't have anything. This is because they just arresting them because they are sedition." And so you think that's what he's trying to do here by saying by trying to misquote the police IG that he said that this case is political, is nothing, instead of he talking about the evidence that he talked about basket full of evidence, but then he in the end he called it a lie. Do you think that's a picture he's trying to put out there to make himself look innocent? Or
for our poor people, who many of whom doesn't have the opportunity to carefully read between the lines before they are being used by these politicians, they are the ones who emotions have been played with like this. People gather the young people and play with their sentiments,
right,
and make them to be in a complete state of confusion, so that the politician can benefit from that. Who told you that Councillor Kofa doesn't know that if he had come out to say, "Oh yeah, the people get Google evidence against us," you know that the steam that he received earlier, that people want to support him, it will drop. So that's the reason why he clearly come in and he muddied the water. He make it to look like, "Oh yeah, they got basket of evidence, but they are all lies." So since they are lies, they will go to the court. And when you go to the court now, when you appear before the full bench, and then your lawyers will be there, and then you see the defendant on you will be the defendant, the accuser will be there, and then you see the evidence that will come before there, and you deconstruct them. I mean, the case is still before the court. That's why I don't want to go too much into it. And, so we are going to say it like that. Since he said they're going to deconstruct those lies, we wait for him to see how they're going to deconstruct it, because he's a seasoned lawyer. It's okay.
All right, Cindy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You at the airport.
I'm joining you from an unusual place.
Okay. So, what do you think about the release today of the 4 or 3? Yeah, I think 4 lawmakers from prison today.
Well, we expected. Well, thank you first for having me. I am in transit. I'm still in your city of Houston. I'm I'm upset I didn't spend more time with you.
Yeah.
Uh, my flight is delayed, so I got maybe about the next 30 minutes or so to be here.
Again?
Yeah, or less than that. Actually, less than that. Hopefully.
Um,
So we expected the release today. We expected that they will, put in a bond today, and that
mhm,
they will get accepted. I mean, it was well yesterday in Liberia, so we expected that release to happen.
mhm,
Um, I also saw the jubilation from the very end. I saw the jubilation for Funati Kofa. I saw this, jubilation for the rest of the representatives, including my representative Jacob CDB. I heard what Funati said that the evidence being talked about by the police
mhm,
contradicts what the IG initially, and they will deconstruct. That's the word used. They will deconstruct.
mhm,
Now, this is a legal battle. Funati, being a lawyer, probably understand what he's talking about. The government also most likely have evidence against Funati and the others. So we will allow the legal process to continue. We will allow the investigation to play out, and then we will see, what the outcome will be. I think the outcome the Liberian people are looking for is to know exactly who burned the Capitol building, and
mhm,
also not just who burned the Capitol building, but who initiated the effort, who contributed to the effort of that building being burned. Remember now, not everyone who uh, fought the war, organized, or planned the war, but there were people who planned the war, sponsor the war, let themselves leave,
mhm.
that did not actually fight the war.
Cindy, your
So
It says Sydney is on the Apple Wi-Fi. That's why.
is it better
yeah,
now?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, bear with me. I'm in Miami, Liberia, so bear with me. But what I want to conclude quickly. So even if Funachule did not burn the Capitol building, we want to know if they sponsored the burning of the Capitol building.
Mhm,
So we will see. Let wait for the investigation to go on. None of us should be passing prejudgment at this point. None of
mhm,
us should conclude at this point. Let's
mhm.
just be very patient and allow the process to go through. That's really all I have to say on this one.
Okay, Sydney. Before you go, do you? How do you make up? Why do you make up the jubilation today after those lawmakers were presented as if everything was over, and like after the result or the verdict has been passed down, and how they were presented today, and they were jubilation as if everything is over. What do you make up the excitement that was over there? What does it signal?
Well, in our country, every little opportunity is used to uplift the politician.
Mhm.
That's it. It has been like this for many years. Fambula, when Madame Saleh came from prison, we saw that she was uplifted. When Momba Moru then were arrested and sent to jail, they came out, we saw that they were uplifted. Politicians, in fact, in our country, rather use this kind of opportunity to get more popular. So they organize people to come out to receive them when they've been released. I thought about the same thing you just said. When I saw the jubilation, the crowd, I was like, this is not over.
Yeah.
This is not over. There's a possibility that these guys could go back to prison. But what we saw today, coined them as political jubilation. People organize those things so that they can get more popular. That's basically what it is. And I get you speaking about the youth being used, the young people being used. Unfortunately, Fambula and the rest of you, that's what we will continue to experience in our country. Even though we're seeing a decrease in the number of people coming out these days, right? But our people are still being used. They are jobless. They have no job. If the people have work to go to, they won't be coming out in the middle of work day on a Monday to welcome somebody being released, temporarily being released from prison. You
Right.
won't find that. After putting your 8 hours from what time do you have to go welcome somebody? Or while you are at your 8 hours, will you
Say
even leave
12
there?
hours. Says, we that
12
in here for
hours. Yeah.
say 12.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Some of it are doing 12 hours. So
Mhm.
unfortunately, we will continue to see those kind of activities among our young people. And our politicians are very crafty. Let me end on this. They will continue to subject those people to poverty. They won't bring the employment that those people deserve so that they can continue to praise, sing them, welcome them from praising, welcome them from anywhere they go, to continue to magnify them, and the people will continue suffering. That's
Cindy,
just the unfortunate thing we see.
let me just speak in you a little bit. You have few more seconds before you go. But there is something today I capture in the some of the question that was asked the councillor, the former in battle speaker Fonati, about the state and condition of the Moreover Central Prison. And he said, unfortunately, that's what the country has to offer. So what do you think? Because Fonati being not just the in battle speaker or the S speaker, he has served for over 6 years before coming on to be becoming a deputy speaker, and then he became speaker for a year, have less than a year. I mean, so what do you sense in that he was saying? And that because we noticed that people who have not been there before, once they visit that area, they come out, they become renewed, and they try to say things that we saw Kalasco visited. He came back, he bought TV, he carried it, and then Fonati is out today, and he was saying some similar thing that unfortunately that's what the country is able to offer. So what do you make of that?
You say a place for human.
Like
Mhm.
the Liberia prison, like several prisons around Africa, in developing countries, they are not like the prison in the US or prison in developed nations. Several people go out there, they come back, even with major health conditions. Imagine Funati was not kept in an ordinary cell. I'm sure he was kept in some executive room. He had mattress,
Just
he
is
had,
scary.
mattresses, he had toothpaste, toothbrush, and then he was still complaining, right, about the condition. Now imagine the ordinary man who have no title to his or her name, being put in the most terrible part of the prison compound. That place is deplorable. A lot of people come from that place and they complain about it. It's terrible. There's a room to improve it. But unfortunately, in our part of the world, we see prison compound as a place to punish, but not as a place to rehabilitate. In other parts of the world, prisons are meant for rehabilitation.
But do you
Even
think the
murderer,
lawmakers who have done more? Because I mean,
yeah,
they they
they
they,
should.
they, they have authority to do that, to hold the executive feet to the fire to ensure that those conditions are improved in the central prison.
That should be part of their oversight responsibility. They should, but they are not doing it. Maybe now that he came out, the five of them went there, saw the condition. Maybe they can advocate for that place to be better than what it is now.
Thank you, Sunny. Let's move on to be
Uh,
that. Welcome to the show. Sorry.
Yeah,
Um
thank you for having me.
Okay, so we're on the topic about the speaker and the rest of the representatives that were released today. What do you think? What is your point on that? I mean, what is your
Well,
observation
I
on
think
the things he said and after he released and you know so forth?
thank you. I think it's a good thing for our justice system, and what we anticipated yesterday and what we pray for actually happening. Right. I think there's a lot we need to discuss. I know there's a politics of the day. We sometimes distract people from the basis issues. But when you look at basis proceeding, or when you look at basic happening to where are we today as Liberian as regard to this case, it actually give you a lot of education. So you want to be one person who understands that there was an act created upon the state, but before that there was sequences of happening that led to that act, right? So that brings the states to believing that there are evidence upon evidence that they have to show that those that were allegedly, I know, uh, indicted by the government through the Liberian National Police, believe that there's a crime committed. Now, basically, like I said, there's a politics of the day. Um, we want to understand where are we as a country. People are celebrating. That's the usual thing in Liberia. People will celebrate out of ignorance. People will celebrate because they have less education. People will celebrate because they feel that they want to celebrate. People will celebrate because they just want to be among people celebrating, but they don't know the reason why they're celebrating. But it's a good thing. Political people see it as a political goal. But like Sandin said, we are not the concluding stage. We still have more to do as regards to the particular case. So when they, it is a right to be, because it's a billable crime, a billable offense. All of know that, and we listen to lawyer. They say it's a second degree felony. You can be billable out. In the process of getting it back to court, I think they will have to go to court tomorrow, and the state will have to present what they have, you call evidence, to the judges, and the judges don't forget to know that there are various indictments that were against those guys. To my understanding, what I understood and read, that those indictments or those crimes can be amended by the judge if they see it necessary, and they defend them or the accused. I mean, can even ask the judge for 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 examining those various and crimes. Basically, they want to examine it, scrutinize it, to know
You
what are
mean the
the crimes.
charges?
Yeah, the judges can. No, I mean the accused now, those that are being accused now.
They
You know,
can examine the charges
yeah,
against them.
they can ask for examining those charges, right? That is the process in the legal proceeding. They can ask for examining those charges and scrutinize it, argue that there should not be a charge against this individual because of this, if they have tangible reason to defend it as per law, right? So before it get to the grand jury for further indictment. Well, I think there will be an argument before it get to the grand jury for further indictment. So there's a whole lot of process people now understand here, right? Somebody going to the Liberians, to the central prison, coming out today, and you want to celebrate it, you don't know where are we or what is the start of the case legally, then I think you're jubilating for nothing. But we always pray for due process, and this government is trying by all means to respect due process in our country, and we shall commend. So people cannot see it as the normal witch hunt. But no matter what you do in Liberia, there are people who have perceived mind.
Of course.
If people are premeditated with setting mind against an administration, they never see anything straight up, right? We may have a disagreement on how investigation proceed, let me understand it. But what is your legal knowledge? What are some of the things that you're saying that can prove the quote unquote torturing? What are some of the things that you see legally that you can bring to counter the quote unquote misproceeding in a police action to have indicted or arrested these guys. There's no law to say when somebody go to police station, the police does not have the right to keep them at a certain point in time. The police they call certain thing that is only not in the policing, right? They call certain thing discretional power, right? Discretional, proceeding or discretion. You got your own discretion as to how you conclude certain thing. Why if they don't forget to know again, the police can even come out new evidence against those guys. The investigation still proceed until we get final value of this. The police can, like you listen to Gregor Coleman and say, then I have evidence upon evidence that will still be coming until this case reach to its final conclusion. Don't forget, the police work is to process those that was allegedly, and data to process through the justice systems. That is their work. In the process of doing their work, I don't think people should question them when you're now referencing any law as to bring a counter argument upon some of these things. I heard somebody talking about, oh, the guys are lawmaker. Come on.
So sorry, before you go further,
Yeah.
there's this argument, there's this thing that people always say that the lawmakers or people, those guys of interest, those individuals of interest, were not given due process. So, what do you make up even the invitation by the police to have them coming in? Is it not part of the due process? I just want to know.
No, I don't know how people understand due process, and I don't know where that idea really from, because you can remember, I can remember, we've been following the guys who are invited not one or two, I think 3 or 4 times for questioning consistently, and that is in the jurisdiction of the police. They don't call that due process. They were not just called out of the blue sky or one morning, taken to the police station and further indicting them. No. We saw process of inviting them consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And 7% lately were invited, forward indicted based on evidence. Don't forget to know that the police that they have enough of evidence to indict you guys.
So you think
everyone
there's a
has,
possibility?
let me conclude on this. Everyone has in the mind because Marvin Cole from Bankante was somehow brutal in most of the engagement, political engagement.
Mm-hmm.
And friend Safuko, but same friend Safuko who said this capital building must come down.
They should burn the capital. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Most people thought in their mind that they could have been part of those that were indicted. But the police do not just go by mere, just messing on Facebook.
Where is Representative Yeke in all of this?
Well, I'm told that Yeke is out of the country. Yeke is, Yeke usually, mostly when Yeke shot a lot, his pressure goes up a certain state, his diabetes raise up. So
are you serious?
Yeke is not the normal me and you, and that is not to denigrate, but that's
wow.
Yeah,
so that means he has underlying health conditions.
Yeah, so I think he's in Ghana or Dubai, somebody area. But I saw a post from him telling people to go at the Capitol building. I don't know.
No, you have so many fake pages out there with Yeke Koluba. It's not his official. So
thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. I think thank you for that correction. But I think we have to get the process changed, and we have to get the process changed. We have to, if you're countering argument, I think you should have legal facts to your argument, not just your feeling. Law is not our feeling. Law is reasoning. Law is fact. Law comes with logic. So at the end of the day,
there's one thing I took from the court. They say the court does not base a judgment on speculation. So anything that is before the Supreme Court should be based on facts.
Facts.
So yeah. So before we transition, let me squeeze my question into Soiree. Sorry, what is it about people in our country always hailing and celebrating the elites? Like the lawmaker was celebrated today for being released, but how about those other guys? About 6 other guys who were arrested prior to having the lawmaker taken in. What becomes of them?
That speaks volume to how young people has been denigrated in that country, and we are not learning. It is very, very, very saddening that we are not learning on a daily basis. You talk about the elite. Look, how the guys were taken today from the central prison by quote unquote political leaders. So I want to believe that I'm still to be corrected. Those 6 guys or 5 guys that were preliminarily and indicted by the police, they are seditions.
And been kept for over 6 months.
Thank you. Are they now part of the CDC? I listened to one lazy argument today. Somebody said they were not pick up on protest ground. They were not pick up from where they were fighting for political party. Then that means their situation was not compared to those 6 the full lawmaker. That's lazy. If somebody from your institutions, I think you should value them like the way you value those lawmakers today.
Some of them work in the offices of these lawmakers, and nobody carry mattresses for them, nobody carry fan for them, and they are languishing behind that.
Exactly. And when you listen to Funafi Kofa recalling, I was opportune to listen to his recalling today. When Stanton Waterspoon intervened, he said he has no fish to fry in that all when it comes to these guys, because you don't want to be a part of that. That shows that young people should value themselves.
So, Soiree, do you think that should be a lesson for young Liberians and people who support political parties and politicians and jumping around? And like today, I saw a young man on video. Police would get missing. Based on the claim that read about Jefferson Koshi out there. Do you think if that young man get arrested right now, Jefferson Koshi would be sleeping to that a person waiting for him to come out and be yelling and putting your hands up? Should this be a lesson learned, or what do you have to say to the young people? I mean, we always do, but do they ever listen?
Well, I don't want to somehow denigrate him to that young man because we're on a very unique platform. But I think that young man was not in your right state of mind. I want to believe that the young man was not in your right state of mind. And the CDC headquarters is not too far from where people are manipulated with bad substance. So I want to believe he came from somewhere. But if anybody you to yourself, you one person who knows what you want for yourself in life, you will not be on camera making this kind of a statement. At the end of the day, like you said, the Koji, the Ouija will not be there for you. Because you know what? They not value you. What are you bringing to the table? They only care for the elite. You saw them today at the Temple of Justice, healing and seeking all the necessary bond to get you guys on. Then the question is, why did you not secure bond for those guys that were previously in prison? What happened to their own bond? I hear somebody lying today say the government violated their right. They have no proof. They have no evidence. Let's be real when we come to some of these conversations. You must have all of your disagreement with government policies, but it is good to be real. Why the government denied a bond and the offense they had is non-bailable, the government did not deny the full lawmaker bond. So young people need to be serious to themselves. You part of political institution. Let me share this story with you. For us, we disagree with a lot of things that are happening. Sometimes you see one political leader wake up, he go make mistake. They say you go on Facebook. I'm supposed to use my Facebook page to defend somebody who make a mistake. Come on, you need to be independent. Dependence is quite it brings a lot of respect to you. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean you do not have and you don't believe in the agenda of that institution. But young people have to wake up, man, because there's a lot happening in our country. But trust me, they will not listen because you know what? Right. At the end of the day, when they should have gathered to a setting and entertainment center or somewhere, they gave them what they had to get for that day. You see them bad again. Young people never learn in Liberia. But we guess that they keep learning, but we got to create a platform to educate them.
So we're moving on to the former president. After this video, he was at the headquarters today, and he was speaking with the press, and he said a lot of things that was kind of outrageous in my opinion. Calling the lawmakers they were innocent, and the police grab innocent people and put them in jail, and they got those records on them, and it's very wicked, and they need to be sensitive. This could take the country will go back in the dark days and yada yada yada. You know, being we are, and I had that video. I wish, let me see if that something can be played for you to see it and make a point on there. I don't
While
know.
you're looking for that, let me just chip in a few things for the thing we all been saying about the young people. Look, in our country, it is already challenging normally in nature in Liberia if you are a young person because of the limited opportunity we have. And then top of over that, many of the young people are so low-minded that they can just jump into anything. They are so impulsive. And that's the word I wanted to use. They are so impulsive. And when I speak to some of them, I always say to them, do not be too intoxicated with the exuberance of your youthfulness and allow yourself to be used by these politicians, because these politicians do not have your interests in mind. Our typical example would be the wedding of the former Honorable Moses Akara Gray. After the district elected him for 12 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then he took his wedding, extravagant wedding, and he left them because he never wanted them to eat the chicken. That cow meat today, they were crying all around for. He denied that cow meat. He left. He went all the way to Paris, and he ate cow meat over there. He enjoyed himself over there, and you people were left over there. And guess what? When he came back after his wedding, a bunch of you jumped behind him. You said you were in the trenches
I'll be
campaigning
back, guys.
for him to be elected for the third term. Are you kidding me? What kind of young people do we have today? And unfortunately for us, many of those people who claim to be young people, they are already in their 30s. They are already in their 30s. And when you look back at most of those people who are leaders today, the former Vice President Joao Howard Taylor, she was in her 30s when she was governor. She was in her 30s when she held key position. Amara Conner was in his 30s. Gafan was in his 30s. Many of the leaders today you have in our country, Edwin Snow, they were all in their 30s. And they were in top position. And today we have those young people, many of them in their 30s, and they don't still understand that they have reached to a point where they have to put their thinking cap on and move in the right direction. It's a sad thing for our country. And it's very unfortunate that this is happening to us. But this is the video.
I joined them with our team here to make sure that we in solidarity with our lawmakers. I think they were wrongly put into prison. That is wrong, because they're going to be on the record that they went to jail, and that word is wrong. You know, innocent people, that you jail. You know, this is wrong. You know, and like I said, we need to stop this. We need to stop it. This is wrong. It's unconstitutional. This is wickedness at the core. You know, nobody wants to hear our country history, but we, as a leader, we need to let people know it's the same behavior of police that caused April 14, April 12. It can be happening, you know. So the police need to exercise restraint sometimes, you know.
I don't know whether it is only my side it is playing like that, but it's kind of a little bit distorted.
Yeah, coming in distorted, you know. Thing in that work.
Oh, if I have to do this, then I resign.
So that is sorry. At least he got a few things from that. He said they what do you make of the ex-president saying that it was wrong, it was unconstitutional, and the people are innocent, and they're going to have this on their record forever, and he ended this whole scenario with reminding us that it is the same police that caused the April 14. He was not even exact. He said April 14 or April 12 conflict. You know, we know April 14, 1979, the evil Saturday, which was the Red Riot. I don't know whether that was exactly what he was trying to refer to, or some kind of April 14 or April 12 in his own date. But I don't know. Whatever the case is, why is he reminding us about the dark days? What do you make of his statement in general, anyway?
Well, I think sedition will get back with me on this because I mean I have no
Police had to step down. Esther Paco case. We were here with young children. In the 21st century, it can be happening. You know, so the police need to exercise restraint sometimes. You know, the order where it's coming from, we don't want to know where it's coming from. But if you're in that place, the job, you have to have a sense of reasoning to know that this person is wrong or is right. And these people we're all friends here, we're family. You understand? Don't let nobody force you to do what you don't want to do. Real people resign. They say, no, I'm not going to convict the person because the person is not wrong. The law is the law. If I have to do this, then I resign. That's how people do. You know, but you can't be conspiring against people because you believe that your boss man say you must do this, and then at the end of the day it creates tension in the country. Let's get a little more peaceful coexistence. And then when the tension rising, then again you say you're giving a bomb. So what's the essence of that? What's the essence? If you did that though immunity was there, then you could have solved the problem. But you want to put everybody together, put everybody else together. This is wrong. You know, Africa need to change. You know, if you look around, there's a lot of issues in the African country. Liberia had an issue. If Liberians are not smart, they will go back to where they came from. And we don't want that. You know what I'm saying? There's no government. There's no president. You know what I'm saying? Have the power more than the people. Yes. The people has the power. And that's
Look, that's the video. You know, I'm a little angry and I'm upset every time I listen to that. But let me hear you what you got to say.
You know, Sekou Kalasko sometimes you embarrass the man. I'm being serious. It's not always the time you want to interview this brother of ours. And I listen to a few things, sir. I want to agree with him that they are innocent. But Lord, they are innocent until proven beyond all reasonable doubt. But to say they were wrongfully incarcerated, I don't know where Mr. We are reading from. I don't know what is the big basic legal knowledge towards wrongfully incarcerated. I don't know where he's reading from. Because for police to have putting you into cell or detain you, let's say, it is a process, and the process will follow through with no error. So I don't know how you're talking about wrongfully incarcerated because they are lawmaker. So I don't get it. There's a certain part of people when you talk about there are people in the police, they are sedition, there are people in the army, they are sedition. So it's sometimes mind-boggling to listen to a leader speak the way Mr. Weah speaks at times. You know you have followers, you have weight. And sometimes when young people who believe that Weah is their demon god, Listening to some of these messages he sent out there, they all want to bow down to it. They speak the way they speak. By the end of the day, you bear the consequences. We are not going to jail for you. So, if the peace ambassador want to come out to speak to certain issues, I think it should be more reform. You cannot be saying they got CDC police, they got people in the police. Don't forget to know, we were in power just says yeah, we got CDC police. Then that validated the argument that when people said seditions were illegal to put into the police, sedition was occupying various security apparatus positions, that validated the argument. So if Mr. Weir comes to give messages, he cannot speak to the issue, but rather want to make it appear like he still has that power to bring pandemonium and want to create that sense that they still have, certain power outside of government. I want to say to the people, do not be fooled by these kind of.
Wasn't he dismissive when he said, "We don't want to know where the order come from"? What do you make of that? When he said that we don't want to know where the order come from?
Yeah, Mr. Weir has been one person who indirectly.
And people always claim that he's a man of peace, but his articulation has never shown any calm or relaxed posture. One, he said we don't want to know where the order come from, and secondly, he was saying that in the grand scheme of things, if somebody tell you to do something and you're not comfortable to do it, you must resign. If it go against your what lesson is he trying to show? Did he show good example that he asking people to resign today when people in his government were doing things that he was aware of and they did not resign, and now he's telling people today that they should resign from that position in the what does that mean?
Yeah, that shows the usual hypocrisy in our like brown politicking. When you're in power, you feel that thing as now red people should resign. When you're not in power, you feel that things are now red people should resign. But when you're in power, it must be suggested to you, yes, sir, chief, yes, sir, chief, yes, sir. If you're very certain know that things that you did was not right, or you are doing is not right. So his measure is when he was in power, people did wrong, they did not resign. But right now, things are happening in his mind. It is wrong. If you think you're not feeling good about it, you should resign. But do not go and do something to people, and in that come on like Brenton and make yourself bad because they like brothers for all of us. Now, one of the things I want to agree with two things Mr. Weir said in his statement. One has to do with police exercising restraints. And I agree with him with that. But police exercising restraint, when police exercising restraint should come with some level of, it comes with some level of not provoking them as well. I have my own disagreement with how some police proceed or have procedure when it comes to certain issues, right? When you're a police officer, there are a lot of things people do to make news. When you're a police officer, there are a lot of things people do to provoke you. But there are a level of restraint police cannot exercise. If you want to provoke, attack the police at a certain level, like the RG said today, they have the right to defend themselves. In defending the states and properties of Liberia, they have the right to defend themselves firstly. That's the primary goal. Defend yourself as an individual before you defend property and citizen. If you sit there, you have all of the necessary material for somebody to harm you, then you now go to the ranks fact as a police officer, or you did not read sufficiently, or did not go through the practice that have to do with self-defense as a police officer. So people always talk about exercising restraint. We believe that
you're going to come in with that exercising of restraint, because I know that particular exercising of restraint came from the backdrop of the proportionate force that the police used on the party chairman Jangako. But we are not looking at we condemn the force that was used, but do you think that the move to pick up Jangako was a tactical move?
Well, I don't
from
want to.
more security. I don't know whether you are a security person or you get some idea, because I was consulting some of my security friends and people who are into law enforcement, and because I shared the video with them, and then I was asking them how is it done, in policing, and then they were asking me who was the individual that the police were able to pick among the crowd, and I said he was because they asked me, was he their leader? I said, oh yeah, he's a leader because he's the chairman. The message, but then that move was a tactical move, because once you grab the leader, that means all the other guys and guys, they will disappear and that's what we saw. So I don't know, even though the force was it was not necessary, but the move to get him out of them and out of there and later on free him, they just serve the purpose of the day and dismiss the entire plan that they had to carry on that protest by blocking the road towards the Monrovia Central Prison.
You know, the act that created the Liberian National Police, it talk about use of force under their jurisdictions or the authority they have. It talk about use of force, time, when, how you use a particular force. If one is not resisting an arrest, it is not necessary to use any force. Especially, I watched the video, and let me say something before I proceed. The initial stage of the video brings some level of pandemonium, because if police tells you go this right, do this, do not park your car there. Simple as it is. Go by discretion, avoid problem. Right? If you do not come with certain premeditated mind. But if you are a police officer, in my little knowledge, if you are a police officer and wanting to arrest somebody or in a move for arresting somebody, you raises your hands out, meaning they have surrounded. There is no need for you to use certain force that they are resisting as arrest. So in my mind, I thought that as arrest, that use of force was not necessary at that particular period of time. If Janga Cole should have a plus setting behavior by not abiding by the police or by resisting or acting to react back to what the police were doing to him, then the police were right to use excessive force on him. But to have punching, I did not see it necessary. I might be wrong. If there's a reason for the police to have done that, I think we have to get further education on that. I'm saying to be corrected, but the use of force at certain point, it becomes very excessive when the opponent or people who are engaging, they are very aggressive in certain point and manner. That which you don't have no limits or you don't have any options.
Do you think that the police actually did that so that the other guys will not think in that said they can move? Because you remember we always have the issue about people battling it out with the police. Like the guys, our friends always having throwing stones and other things, causing serious disruption or eruption. So the police had to move with that so that it can serve as a caveat that any other person who think that they can do certain things, they can be picked up through that means. I mean, we condemn force in all form, but in policing sometimes it is necessary. It is necessary to apply certain thing. But here is the thing. The chairman was able to remove his phone for packing his wallet. You saw he showed his wallet and his phone to an identified person while he himself was trying to claim. And I think this was a calculated political scheme, because when the chairman gave a speech after the lawmakers from the quote-unquote CDC affiliated lawmakers were arrested, and he made a statement, some member of his party, some disenchanted militants, how they call themselves, hardcore militants from the youth wing, said they felt that the chairman was weak. They referred to him as being weak, and he's not the kind of a chairman for a revolutionized party or revolutionary party, because his posture is always more softer, and they expect him to be in a militancy posture. So because the journalist asked him that, and he said, no, I'm not weak. But he came back later on now to prove up. Do you think that he came back and did what he carried out so that he can prove a point to his people that he's not that weak? Because that was a score that he scored. He went, He said, "Oh, I was arrested. My shirt was torn." You saw how they did it after he was released. How they marched with him to the party headquarters, and they make it like, "Oh, yeah, we were taken in by the police." And what do you see in that whole thing? You think it was a stage, and stage process so that you can have something in the headlines?
Yeah, I'm having peering because I seeing myself a little bit stuck. But
Yeah,
hearing me,
I'm hearing you, but I put you back. Let me see.
yeah, I mean,
I take you off and I brought you back, but like I'm not seeing you, but I can hear you. But you can go ahead.
yeah, I think I have to speak your audio. I
Yeah.
think I can work on it after giving the input. So, I
Mhm.
mean, you talk about that brings me back to restraint as well, Anthony. People have different motives when they go on program, right? Janga Cole had his motive.
Okay.
Janga Cole could have achieved, or he achieved a motive because the police gave him certain level of attention, right? And in a certain point in time, when I listened to Nelson Fremont, the 102, he said there's no wrong about arresting Janga Cole because in the instance there, sometimes when you don't arrest the leader, sometimes their primary goal can be the leader too. When they arrest the leader, then they got target. Because when you arrest the leaders in some of these cases, the players go slow. Because sometimes when the leader is among them, they get more motivated, they move, and they give them a lot of advantage to move places. So when you target the leader, when you get the leader, then I mean, you actually slow down or you depress the crowd with certain tactics. That is a security tactics all of the time. He saw no wrong with that arrest. But again, if you want to look at people aim and a dirty, and you are a police officer in a terrain, you have to know what they want to, because there are a lot of people who want to make news. A lot of like you talk about the CDC party chairman. There was a lot of backlash on him, how he presents himself. He's not that, critical person, all this stuff. People will be critical of him, but if you want to score that goal, you have to go there and score that political goal. So we are only talking about I'm not more political, but I'm talking about the professional standard, the professional side of how the police sometimes to proceed. If you see people move in certain way, you know that they're not serious. So I believe that the police, was a little bit excessive. That which I see in my view, and I say I'm gonna be wrong if we should have gotten any further information as regards to the use of football. What I read or what I read, I think it was a little bit excessive from the police angle.
Okay. Well, we're gonna be transitioning anytime soon,
Yeah,
but
let
one
me
more
go
thing
on.
before.
Please let me go and come back so you can.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
No problem.
but you can be floating. I'll be listening to you from the back. I'm working on something quickly.
Yeah, sure. So, my fellow Liberians, Liberia is for all of us, and we all have said it over and over and again that no matter what the circumstances or the circumstance might be, it should not revert us to anything that will remind us of the dark days. And where we have reached, nobody, nobody, no individual personal interest is bigger than the country. And we want the law to be the law. We are tired with this culture of impunity. People who commit the crime should be accountable. They should be accountable, and they should be people who commit a crime should be held accountable, and the law should be the law. So we have a lot of things. What do you make of the context of the opposition bloc today, and unanimously rallying themselves together to show solidarity to those guys that were released today? Because in the end, I saw Mr. Alexander Benedict Kumi, your former political leader. I saw him coming in and he had a little tete-a-tete with Josh Weah. What do you make of Mr. Cummings? Because a few days ago, Mr. Cummings made a video that was trending on the internet, and he received a lot of backlash when he said he was so disappointed in the government and for arresting and taking in these lawmakers for cautioning and later on incarcerating them, and just for them to be released on Monday with their lawyers and on the bond being signed. But he said he was so disappointed in the government of Liberia, and because these people are lawmakers, they shouldn't be arrested. They should be taken in based on their own reconnaissance. And what do you see in him today when he appeared at the grounds of the Supreme Court?
Yeah, now with the politics, and I gotta be very political. So let's look at the 3 or 4 political parties, right? You talk about the CDC, you talk about the CDC, talk about MOVE. CDC somehow MOVE. I don't think they have membership of 300 or 400. I don't think so. So that is MOVE. So I think the aim of
what I mean now, who is MOVE now?
MOVE is the movement for economic empowerment, headed by Master Kemia.
But who is the D. Maswell Kimia? Is he not the former ambassador, the former foreign minister, who is now the direct personal aide to Josh Weah?
Yeah, I mean that was said somehow the part of the CDC, and you talk about the CMC/ANC.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the ANC right now. I'm still to be corrected. They don't have 10,000 members. Let me say that. Both international and national, they don't have 10,000 legitimate members. What is the CMC? The CMC doesn't have quite 1,000 members. Maybe for record, I'm still to be corrected. Maybe they might be in something at 1.5. Let's give them that. So if you put all these numbers together, I think the only political party that really care with whether is a CDC, because statistically you cannot deny the fact that they are the biggest political party in the opposition per number, right? So you can't disprove that fact. But ANC 1%, what are they bringing to the table? Now, political science talking about consistency. Will the consistency work? I'm not too optimistic because you have one man we call Kumi. I know Kumi is a very good guy, but Kumi cannot give back to Mr. Weah as the president. So will Mr. Weah, because I know this whole coming together in the name of we rule of law, people, blah, 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 it is to have certain political screen comes 2029.
So he wants to eat a show. So he wanted to eat show on Josh Weah.
So he can't eat a show on Josh Weah. But for the fact that Mr. Weah has already made his name, you go, Mr. Weah has his Weah Shen. When he leaves CDC today, Weah Shen will follow him.
Yeah.
If Mr. Kumi leave the ANC, who will follow him? Look, if you are a politician, one thing people don't recognize is your political identity. If Mr. Weah leaves the CDC today, brother, they got people who are completely loyal. They will go behind Mr. Weah. Whether from the Grand Gilesa or people from different angles, they will go behind Mr. Weah. But what Mr. Kumi has, people even say he don't even know where he's from in Maryland. People say that. That has been people asking me. Where's D. Mazda coming from? What is the base of D. Mazda coming? As a politician, you need to got base. What is your base? What is the base? He's from where?
Lovac County.
Who know that man in Lovac County, brother? Yeah? You know intellectual from you know the man. Those are places people should know you from, brother. You know, I mean those are preliminary those are stages, fundamental stages where you build your political and foundation from. But people know D. Mazda coming from where? Foreign affair. From foreign affair to America. So we talk about people who have political capital. When you call their name, people choose. Somehow Musa Belede has something we know sometimes. Out of I don't want to say criminality, but out of crookedness, he has gained some political ground through finance. So he may have people who stand by him politically. They might
Yeah,
not be that
so
amount
because
that
he had
is
dollarized.
convincing to us as a
Oh yeah,
politician.
he dollarized his.
Thank you. You use the
Okay.
money in politics. So he has certain something. But yes, if you put all the measures that are put into place, it brings you to understanding that there's a lot to play. I'm not too convinced that they're going to be together. Because that is something that happened here. You talk about the CCPP. When the CCPP are coming together, there are a lot of admiration people have. There are a lot of anticipation people have. Right? And I might be wrong. That's my political view about these guys. Because when you talk about politics here today, you talk about numbers. If you cannot bring the number on the table, you in a common labyrinth, you are a dead bear. You got nothing to prove.
So the
So at the end
Union
of the
Party,
day,
the Union
their
Party,
aim,
the
their
Union
aim
Party
is to
denied
get
Cummings the opportunity for he to issue on them. They withdrew from the CPP. Mr. Cummings retrogressed into a serious political apps, and now Mr. Cummings, I don't know where he's now finding, because it's like he's like a lost soul. You know, he between the veil of the living and the dead. He's just in the middle. They're just roaming around. So now I'm seeing Mr. Cummings trying to mend fences, trying to extend hands of extensionalism to George Weah so that his grace can rub on him, so that maybe he can elevate his presence. Mr. Cummings has never stood for anything. I mean, I'm quoting directly what people say. He has not stood for anything. Mr. Cummings has no stake. And everybody see Mr. Cummings to be just one of those politicians who only come and talk and go. But Mr. Cummings has never been a key political figure in our body politics. But be as it may, we leave it just like that. The audience will figure that out, and the masses know more. The Liberian people know more. And there are people crying out there saying that okay, before we take that, let's just transition real quick, because I think we've gone almost an hour, 30 minutes now. Let's transition to the next talking point. There was this news today. In fact, it stayed trending about the rejected cow, situation. Remember, we all sat on a show when we witnessed our country, Liberia, lost a former first lady, a woman who left an indelible mark on many Liberians, and her memorial still live on in the country. You have the Nancy Doe market over there, and so many other Liberians benefited while she was first lady. With little education, she was still down to earth. She did everything in her power to be that person, the collision for the ordinary market women. The LMA came into existence through her. So she lost her life. And then LMA came into existence through her. And then we started hearing some noise coming up. People were sending in their condolences while she was still lying over there. People were saying their condolences, and then we saw this little Rick Monroe going on now on social media, because we live in the age of information. The president extended his condolences, and then there was a rebuttal. And people come out and say, "Oh no, we don't need that. That's hypocritical." We read it out, and from the daughter of the former and the fallen first lady. She responded strongly to that, and there was supporters of the president come up, and they was beating on her, and it was going back and forth. But fast forward, we saw that the president, the vice president of Liberia, current vice president of Liberia, visited the family, extended his condolences on behalf of the government of Liberia, and gave them his support, and promised them that the president, His Excellency Joseph Yima Boaka, was going to visit the family, and after certain engagement that he had, and President Boaka did visit, and he extended his condolences and promised them that the government of Liberia will work along with the family and give the former first lady a befitting burial. And then we start seeing high-profile people also visiting. There was so many people coming in and out, visiting as well. And then finally today, the ex-president, Josh Manuel Weah, visited the family. But before then, there was this video that was trending that the former first lady, peace be unto her ashes, when she was alive, she begged the ex-president. She went to his house, waited for over 9 hours just to see him. She went at 8 in the morning and could not see until I think 9 in the afternoon or 8 in the afternoon, something like that, or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. The recording I stand to be corrected. And she said that the former first lady was humiliated from the video that we watched. She was humiliated. She cried. She begged the president, the ex-president, not to remove her son out of job. She begged the ex-president to increase their benefits, and also a number of occasions that she pleaded that her benefit of her husband be given to her, but to no avail. And then the ex-president told her that he can't do anything about it because about her daughter, there was this relation with the daughter, and she wanted Omar to say something about it, and she refused. And Omar did not do much, and he felt that Omar did not do much, and she thought that the Omar stabbed him in the back and tried to betray him. So this thing came back later on now to a point where people say, "Oh, that was disrespectful. That was being that show high level of ingratitude, because this woman, when her husband was alive, he did much more to help this guy when he just started his career as a professional soccer player." And then today he went to the family, he extended condolences, but he refused to shake the hands of the daughter. The video went out there, was trendy. When she went to meet him, extended hands to him to shake his hand, he ignored the hand, similar thing that he did to the vice president, and he decided to go with his elbow and that kind of poor gesticulation, poor gesture, and and then we saw what happened after he submitted, or he gave them 5,000, 50 bags of rice, and promised them 2 cows that I think I was going to bring the next day. And today we have that pandemonium going on, that she refused the item because she felt from her recording, she felt that he lied on her mother, and she felt that was not right. So she returned all the things. But today there was a huge pandemonium. What do you make of that? I mean, I'm so sorry that I have to take this long to try to give you. I try to break it down as much as I can, but that's what exactly is trending in the news today. What do you make of that?
Well, like I said yesterday, thanks to the former president for going there, current president for going to sympathize with the family. But sometimes when you appear on the occasion, the message you send actually show that you're not serious, or actually show that it turns your visit as not a good gesture. So at the end of the day, as a leader, if you want to speak on certain thing, you have to look at the situation, where you speak from, how you speak online, how you speak about it. It speak a lot. I've been following the back and forth, the cow going, the cow coming. I mean, it's the right of the president. It is in his preview, he saw it necessary to have given the Doe family cow, because I think it was requested for, we're talking of 5,000. That is a gift, for God's sake. If you gave somebody gift and they rejected, that should not be a deal. And I see people playing consistent politics here, because bro, everything is politics. I think it's silent, it's funny, it should not be happening. And This is somebody murder death. We're talking about somebody murder death. For God's sake, I'm saying seditions. I'm saying people who support Mr. Weir, bringing up video, lifting up the old womb video that Samuel kind of do days day, blah blah. I mean, young people need to graduate. Young people need to be reformed with their politicking. You have a particular period of time where you play your daily politics. We are now in a time of bringing these old recordings. It doesn't make sense to me. And sometimes we need to use their platform to lead the politics of the day and come here sometimes to discuss some religious issues, reform moral issues that will reform the minds of young people. Because at the end of the day, this generation is done. We're talking about next generation. This generation of ours is done, brother. There's no amount of talking you and myself can carry on now that will transform the generation, because you know what? We are already, our minds are buried in the pockets of those politicians that call themselves elite. At the end of the day, they will misuse you to use your Facebook page while you should be building for your profile. They will misuse you to use your Facebook page while people should see you as a serial minded person, while people should confide in you, or you be there insulting other people, saying all sorts of things against somebody in the name of support Mr. We are support Mr. Baga. At the end of the day, everyone want to play certain politics. The Unity Party want to play their politics. The CDC want to play their politics. It is very unfortunate. But Moses want to speak to our CDC brother. Be careful as to how you articulate on certain issues. At the end of the day, you're somebody being in this situation. You will not feel fine when somebody address them the way you addresses them today. Politics go, politics come. But the issue about death, it is something that is at everyone's door. If you sit today and wanted to completely police out the issue about the former first lady and feel that that's your party mandate, that reckless thought they call party mandate, that which I've never seen myself part of, you have to wake up from bed. Because party mandate, it destroys your future, it destroys you as individual, and at the end of the day, you get nothing out of it but regret. There are a lot of young people regret today why they got to follow politicians. And you can listen to some of them saying, I'm a disenchanted person from this district, I'm a disenchanted person. You are disenchanted because you're not sitting down to put yourself together to be valued in society. So at the end of the day, you manipulate them, you misuse, you use like a 10 tools in a common librarian tool. You never get anything for yourself because politicians are not seeing anything you bring tangible to the table. So it's very unfortunate that her death will be politicized at this strength. And it happened with people that are passed off in that country, leaders that are passed off in that country. Let be transformed in our minds. Let them be carried by politician rhetoric. CDC is scoring their goal. Unity Party is scoring their own goal. But it's more denigrating what I'm saying from the opposition. It is bad. Don't forget to know we're talking about death today. It might be at your door tomorrow. No one knows. Nobody prayed that somebody should die from somebody's family. But you got to remember that death is something that comes to all of us.
It's inevitable.
I want to say my sympathy to the family. If he goes there, he do not speak. Because I saw him getting cold shoulder to the guy. He won't hug the guy. The guy said no. You got to pay her there. So, I mean, it is a good thing, like I said, it's a good thing to visit the family. If they are bereaved, if they see a necessary to not accept your gift, Papa, take your gift and give it to a partisan. There are a lot of librarians today. They go to some economic hardship. And in case that too hard, give it to people and they will bless you for once. But do not be latching them because they disagree with you for your gift. Because the fair, it was a disrespect. It did not represent the dual family. I listened to the elderly sister on ground, the sister on ground, mommy. She said it was a disrespect. The statement made by the president shows that they can't afford. And I just want to crack the little bit joke. Prophet Key said, crown people and cow that sits and fire and sit. So, so you never expect that the people that are rejected.
Prophet Key said,
the prophet said, yeah. The message, trust me. If you that lady come and reject that guy, so oh man, never come and say the cow. And I just what
And
happened to me.
and that's
you know
exactly what
happened today,
happened.
right? That's
Yeah,
what's going
Yes.
on.
He said, "Oh, people, I put beep in it. They put beep in it. Oh, the warfare. They said the issue. The man even started wrong. Man say that issue about Prince Johnson death. It is not because of the Unity Party or any money issue or a political disagreement. See that Carol Benny, the crown people took all the America out, but don't forget that Prince Johnson wife is a crown man. See the crown people came from the web background. They took all the America out when the American was out. He guessed they not get cow. So that the frustration carried the man. So I mean, just to crack that a little bit joke.
Forget a
He
mess.
said that some people are going to be in agreement with the cow, and we saw it today. There are some people who went there with their own motive or eating.
Oh,
I think they wanted for the cow to have been there and they were even making their own aroma. But that's happening in our society. But people should not always put aside people death because death is at everyone's door more. Want to say sorry to the family, keep it moving. And I mean, I think in my mind that was the right thing to reject that cow. I think by that because it was very denigrating to the family. You cannot make such a statement. And somebody kept making the argument before you go to army that she went, she bare Mr. Weir. That's not true. No pension or nobody. It is a right. It is a constitution. It is a
Yeah.
right of every former of a state person. Whether you said that country, you should have your just benefit. Suppose that is the same argument that Brian won. The former vice president, who is then the president, was maltreated, was not getting a very salary. And
Right.
we see the government as well. If anybody said a country gave them their just benefit, as
Exactly.
it should be, it should not be the usual thing. So I mean, that's my take on this issue.
Yeah. So yeah, before thank you family before just so but just what sorry just said to add on. You know, people make it look like I should have said people. Seditious make it look like this woman, like you said, sorry, was begging Weir for any kind of handout. You know, like going to his door steps, like he's a football player, right? And then she going to his door steps and asking for a handout. No. And this was also money that belonged to her husband. It was not just her benefits. Money that belonged to her husband as well. Her husband benefit everything. Whatever he did, you can call him a bad leader or whatever. I don't know what kind of leader he was, but I heard some good things about him. Regardless of even we all said Weir shouldn't be president. Weir is not fit to be president for Liberia, but the Constitution demands that after Weir terms, he should be paid, right? Because he served the country as a president. Did he serve it well? Well, that's an argument for another day. But as long as he was elected as president, he's entitled to that.
Exactly.
Right? So for you to, because for your low thing that you had, what argument or disagreement that you had with this family, and then take that and scratch the Constitution. The people who know the law is the law, and the president should go by the law. When they're giving you a phone call on unification day, you need me. What kind of thing to follow? When you couldn't even follow that when it comes to a former first lady. People's house in which you went to and ate from. Okay? People that treated you like their child. Okay, even if people with sedition want to come in, and Doe did not do anything for Weir, Doe, Weir don't owe Doe anything. Are you serious? You hear people saying all the time, Suarez, I owe that man my life. You think when they say that means that person put life in them? Oh. No, that God gave them the life. But you say stuff like that because let's say I'm at a bad place. And then Suarez help me out. Or show me to somebody to advance my talent or to do something with my talent. And Suarez was not going to be there to do that. You think my talent was going to be shown? To connect me to do that? No. That mean I don't also, but for that kind gesture, made me the big person. I owe Suarez. I can say I owe Suarez my life. Did Suarez give me life? No. Okay. what this man did, let's say it right now. President Weah was president for 6 years. How many country meet talented players that we got in our country, sorry? Football player, every time. They are just wasting over there. Their talents are wasting. Did Weah ever come up to in her presidency to do any kind of soccer academy or anything to help them, to take them out of that country like Dole did for them? You understand? He never did any of that. Our president did that for them, for the team, for young talents. He never did that. Then you want to come here because you kissing we don't know what to denigrate this man family. Okay, so all of that we agree. We don't owe him anything. But what he denied him of wasn't anything personal that they were asking him for. It was something that was due to her. It was something that she deserved, that the Constitution, something to her. Her benefit, her husband benefit. It wasn't a private money, a private farm, or his daddy farm, or his daddy private money that anybody was asking him to give to this woman. No, the government of Liberia owed her, and he was the president at the time. He had that duty to give that to her. I would want to give it to her, but do I have any kind of power? Does Suare have any kind of power to go do it? Does a family has any kind of power to do it? No. Right now, Joseph Boakai is the one who has that power. So how will you not do something because of some a funny little thing you got with somebody and then women they say, oh, we are a peaceful man, we are is this, we are is that. When you carry a grudge for a little argument that you have with somebody, you can think about it. The one good thing that they've done for you. Then people running around talking about this, that, and this, that. I really, really supported this woman for refusing that so-called cow sorry, you suffered the owner of the son, but she did the right thing. You cannot get up and be trying to respect somebody when they're dead and can't see it. Disrespect them when they're alive. And people don't understand why that woman was being, what she did, why she did. That is her mother, for goodness sake. Which one of us sitting on the platform here will want somebody to disrespect our mother when she's living and then doing her dead and come bring our crocodile tears and we look at it and get a bucket of water to drink or cold salt drink? Everything don't have to be politics like that. That's what I said. You can love somebody, but be honest with them for once and tell them when they do wrong. That will make the person better. But he passing around, look at the comments he made there. Because of what his little screening and sorry kids are telling him, making him to believe. That's why he's doing that. And it's not making him look good. It's not making him any better. So you don't love him by doing that. You're killing him. And kudos to Mami Do. And I know they have other family people there that I don't know. Oh, is it that when that girl mom was going, that woman mom was going through the insult and no disrespect? Those, I'm pretty sure those family there that want to accept cow today, that want to eat cow meat today, they were not sitting there with her. They didn't see the pain when the woman left from there and was telling her daughter what she had gone through. They were not there feeding it. So they don't know what she's going through when she refused
when she broke down in tears, when Josh Weah turned his back to her,
right,
on that table. And look, I told you that this particular thing today was so emotional for me.
Yeah.
Because empathetically, I would have done something ugly when someone disrespect my mom in her death like that. You disrespected her when she was alive, and even in her death, you still disrespecting her. And then you have other people, stooges out there and saying
because that's not that mother. Someone that would do worse from that if there was that mother.
Simply because I took cow to go get you in 5,000. You know what would have happened if the former president had intervened and show that she got even 5% of her benefit.
I brought all this woman 18 million. Okay, let's say the Supreme Court said 5 million.
Yeah, even if you give that, I know fully well.
They say 18 million.
Even if you had said, oh,
Ain't her Debbie being
to
2,000 and 5,000.
give the woman at least 1.5 million, and we'll find the banana money. You know fully well that you took 1.5 million to go watch soccer game for you and your son for 28 days.
Your
28
wife is receiving her right now. She's not even born of the soil. The woman and I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but somebody from this soil who suffer, her husband suffer in something. She is from that country. She can't get what she's something, but a foreigner enjoying what belongs to her. How you think that's fair? And then people want to see something and everything they want to make politics out of it. That is wrong. And it was the right thing that she did by refusing those gifts. Give Pamela.
So, guys, thank you so much. I don't know what we're going to take calls today. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to take calls because I want to call it a day. We talk everything that we have to talk, and we can take few calls.
You want to put it on?
Yeah, I mean, we can take few calls, and then we can prepare for tomorrow because tomorrow is the first hearing. So we need to take a break and listen to what the first one going to be like tomorrow, and come back and make our own analysis on it. So we can take few calls. If anybody wants to call and make that input, they can do it. So
yeah, the number is 267-586-5479. 267-586-5479. You can call in to make your point if you want. If not, we will call the other day. And the number is also on the screen. Yep. Baguba doing this stream.
I'm trying to see where we can play something while we wait. What do you make of Mr. Cummings showing up today at the court? Your former political leader.
My former political leader. I love Mr. Cummings, but he keeps twisting my arms.
Yeah.
He keeps twisting my arm. Well, nothing wrong with him showing up at the court. Nothing wrong with that. It just
you think he went to eat a show? He went to eat show on George Weah?
Well, he's part of the opposition community, like they call themselves now. So he wants.
But do you think a former president Weah take that man serious?
Former president Weah don't respect anybody. He looks at all of them as below him. He looks at all of them that they are kind of drinking his juice or something like that. He don't take those people that seriously. He doesn't. He just even the Jaga Kolubad I can be jumping around like some cockroaches around it. Once you stood there and insult that person, we are for 6 years. And that's some of the grudge keeping. We see the cow suffering on the sun today. You think the person we are taking any seriously? No, he doesn't. So all of those things that they're doing is for nothing. And I think that's what it is. From that, I don't think anybody got called so we should call it a day. I think sorry, do her closing and stuff.
Yeah, I think Soiree is done. So let's just say thank you to all of you who made it to be with us to the very end. Man, Ruth Goba, thank you ever so much for coming in. I know it's not easy. I know you'll be searching for us this time on all the platforms to make sure where you can find us. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming to. Thank you so much. So let's see, who do we have here again? Wilson Johnson, he was here previously. Tommy Jr., Soiree, Bella Soiree, Joseph T. Clark. Thank you so much for following us, and thank you. And we will appreciate it if you can share the show just share to somebody, because I mean, next time if the person see it later on, they don't have the chance, they can still come on the next time. So that's the essence of sharing.
Yeah, and
So
I think to add on to that, we'll start putting maybe in the chat room, we'll start putting the link in there so guys will come on. Send other people something away from the show. The show needs to go on, and I think we need to bring new people on who wants to come on and Sunday at parties and stuff. So I would rather want Johnson Wilson. You better send me your number so I can see the link. Don't make me come looking for you now. Well, Formula, you know him, right? I like him. He's a balanced edition. Those are the kind of people I like to instead of. He's not a brainwash. I like that, and he needs to come. And while we got a brainwash like Vasco, then we got him.
And I said Wilson, be clear. Wilson can come. I like you to be clear, but don't be the Vasco. Vasco have no respect for anybody.
No, he's
Vasco,
not. From looking at his comments in the comment section, that man is nothing like Vasco.
Vasco look like an extremist. He idolizes only our president.
Sorry, say he's between Vasco to the chat.
Oh yeah.
You know, sometimes when you actually feel that you are the only loose stock when you bother with a match, someone will not get energy for that. So I think it was a good show, man. I think there are a lot of great things we need to be talking about. Talk about government policies. We're talking about how government transforming, and economic growth in Liberia. And one thing I saw today that came up to my mind, I want to conclude with it. It has to do with the Ministry of Finance having a meeting with stakeholders. You talk about the civil society. You talk about representatives from the private sectors. You talk about people from business organizations coming together to discuss growth and development of our country. Talking about sectors in our country. You talk about the agriculture sector. You talk about the education sectors. You talk about various sectors in our country, right? That how they can improve on these things. And the one thing that came to my mind, I think that was done in the past, but it was not something that they improved. I think the government of Liberia needs to look at what we talk about taking the budget to the people. That is a very unique project. Always, because sometimes when these things happen, misinformation, disjointed information are given to our people. You see one person who had 3, 4, 5 followers will go and say to one media, "Oh, they not take 5 million, they put in the budget on the other side." They don't have no understanding, no clues as to how that 5 million is projected under that particular entity or ministry. So when you have the Ministry of Finance, and they had a crew, they had a particular team usually carry on that project. You talk about it. I think they had a name for it, but them under the CDC-led government, they call the project, I think, taking the budget to the people, but it has certain nomenclature. If the government carried the budget to the people, maybe the marketeers, the intellectual forum, basic places to explain to them where this funding go, how it is spent out, I think speculation will not take over the place. One of the things that makes government look bad when people are not getting sufficient information. So we want to speak to our government to actually try to think about that. I think there's a lot going in our country, but when the information is not given properly, then the opposition take place with their usual lies. And we want to say to the government, consistently our advocacies remain in place. The people has always been our party. As we make progress, we never see any political party in our expressions. We only see what is right. No matter how people take us to be, we don't care about our feeling. But one of the things that matters, one of the feelings that we always care about, it is the Liberian people. So the bread and butter issue is always on the table. Look at it as we make serious progress in other sectors of government. I think it's a good thing always. For us to continually come here is not an easy task. We'll always tell you that. But what we encourage you to come here and to grow this platform is when you are part of the conversation, sharing it, whether in the comment section, giving it to somebody to share with another person. That's what we encourage. That was we encourage family and other folks to come on here to actually consistently discussing Mama Liberia. And like said, it is something that we all can do together. It's not about an individual. If you want to come on the show, send a request. When we see your comment, we have an inbox. If we see I mean, we can inbox you the link. You'll be on the show. It is about everybody. I think your one input or your one view or opinion, whatsoever things that you have towards the kind of safer conversations, it matters to Liberia. You will be part of the positive side of history all of the time. I think it was a good thing. That keep doing what we can do to uplift Mama Liberia. Thank you for having me, Amy.
Absolutely. You said it all, sorry. And on that note, we want to say good night, y'all. See you tomorrow, God's willing. And yeah, please come back. Share the show when you
Please
come.
come back.
Thank
Always
you.
share. Sharing is caring. Like our family
Yeah.
always say, share. Don't be
Mhm.
mean.
Good night.
It's a good thing. Thank you, guys.